mercy is not strained. It droppeth like the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesses him that gives and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty, wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above his sceptered sway. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute to God himself. And earthly power doth then show likest gods, when mercy seasons justice.
Next.
There.
Susan, just go ask McLernan why you didn't get the part.
Susan, you may be the best actress in the school, even when you overdo it a little bit, but that's not the point here. Look, it's not just about who's the best. It's about giving everyone a chance to learn. So you'll just have to share the spotlight for a change.
Yeah, but Ashley is Portia. I mean, I don't think she understands blank verse. And plus, she's too young.
Susan, were you listening to anything that I said?
Yeah, I understand. But we're students, not real actors.
Oh, you scared me coming in like that. How was your day at school? Oh, I see. Well, I have just what you need.
Mrs. Clutchett, unless you can get me the lead in the school play, there's really nothing much you can do to cheer me up.
Your favorite.
I'm home. Susan? Susan? Hi, Pumpkin. What's up, Susan?
I'm not playing Portia. That's what's up.
Who?
Portia. Merchant of Venice, the school play.
Oh, well, how you doing in math?
What does that have anything to do with it?
It has a lot more to do with anything than acting. That's a hobby.
How can you say that? Acting was Mom's profession.
That's true. But your mother would have been the first one to tell you that you need a solid foundation in math if you're ever going to make it into a good college program. Oh, I can't get this thing to work.
You need a solid foundation in computers if you want to make it in the 21st century. I'm going to the top. Mr. Reynolds is waiting for me.
It's me, Mr. Reynolds!
I'll be right there. Is that all the mail for today?
Some flyers and an insurance bill. Oh, I wrote out a check.
Thank you.
Okay, pay to the order of Susan Shawson.
$1 million and no cents.
Somehow I think that one's going to bounce.
Well, I tried. How about some headlines? School lunch program, freeway vandals. Oh, here's one. Gold coins found at construction site.
Gold coins.
Yeah.
Is there a theme emerging here?
A cache of U.S. double eagle gold pieces, probably buried during the Civil War, were discovered during excavations at a former Oak Park today, and construction work will be suspended while archaeological experts explore the site.
Oak Park. Isn't that the playground just round the corner from here?
Yeah, well, they're digging up to put in another one of those new mini malls.
Okay, so tell me what's wrong.
Nothing, it's just that I used to play in that park.
It's not what I meant. What happened today?
I didn't get the part.
But you were perfect when you read for me yesterday.
Well, I wasn't so perfect today. I mean, it's so unfair.
How unfair.
Susan, you may be the best actress in the school, but you have to share the spotlight for a change.
Is that what the teacher said?
Yeah, but,
Oh,
you know,
well, maybe she has a point.
how can you say that? I mean, that's so unfair.
Well, maybe. I used to think a lot of little things were unfair, and then I had my accident. Maybe it's just a question of perspective as to what's fair, isn't it?
I guess you're right. Sorry I was whiny. I'll make us some tea.
You know, Susan, I can only judge by your voice, but I think you'd be a wonderful actress. Your mother would be proud.
You really think so?
I have several books here on famous actresses, and not one of them was an overnight success. Perhaps you'd like to borrow one.
That would be great.
On the shelf behind you. I used to go to the theatre often with my wife, Eleonora. She was named after two famous actresses of the 1920s, Eleonora Duse and Theda Bara. Why don't you take the one on Duse?
Okay. What's this? A trivet?
Where did you find this?
Over by the books. So what is it?
I don't know. Maybe something my wife put there.
Oh.
Well, look, Susan, just as long as you're taking the newspapers down to the basement, why don't you take that and put it in my storage locker? You know, the key is on the hook by the door.
All right. Sure you're okay?
Let's have some shortbread cookies with our tea, shall we?
Okay.
Hello, Susan. What have you got there?
Oh, I'm not sure, Mr. Armandroid. I found it in Mr. Reynolds' bookshelf. Looks like something that belongs in here.
Yes, it looks like the old floor selector panel.
How long ago did Mrs. Reynolds die?
Oh, over 10 years now.
And, she died and he was blinded in the same laboratory fire?
Yes.
He lost everything all at once. I mean, how does someone go on after something like that?
That's a good question, Susan, but you know him better than anyone. Aren't you getting off here?
No, I'm going down to the basement. I have to drop this off for Mr. Reynolds. All right.
Well, I don't know why Mr. Reynolds would have it, but I wouldn't trouble myself over it. Good night, Susan.
Good night, Mr. Armandroid. That wasn't there in the old plate. Eleanora Duse died.
Susie, it's me, Bodoni.
Oh, you scared me to death, Mr. Armandroid.
Sorry, I was putting out a rat traps on my way to bed.
What is that?
Oh, they are, what do you call them? The decoys. Why are you here so late, Susie?
Oh, Mr. Reynolds asked me to put something in his locker.
Hmm?
Are you all right? Are you hungry?
Don't worry, I'll eat. I brought something down to the basement. And yes, my homework's all done.
I am sorry about the play.
Oh, who cares about some dumb school play anyhow? Can I go online?
Sure.
All right.
I don't understand what the problem is.
The problem is, I'm not ready to make a commitment. I have my career to think of.
But I can help you with that.
Austin, I bet you could. But I'd rather earn it, okay?
School day tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, just a couple more minutes.
How about your kids? Don't they need a father?
Do you think you're ready for that?
Yes.
I will seriously consider it. And give you my final answer.
I miss her too. It's so hard on both of us without her.
It's okay, Dad.
Some of us have to get up early tomorrow.
Good night.
Bed soon, okay?
Mm-hmm. Eleanor Dusa and Mrs. Reynolds? It's impossible. Where did I leave those keys? Yes. Time travel equations? Time-space continuum? What is this?
They are too smart, these rats, eh? What's the matter with you guys? I give you my best of cheese, eh? You don't like? Che cosa?
Why isn't this thing moving? The keys!
Victoria, please come down to the kitchen for dinner. It's just you and I this evening. I don't want to trouble Maggie with serving.
Mama, is Mr. Sweeney coming to call tonight by any chance?
Please, Victoria, that's none of your concern. Come now.
Yes, ma'am. It's nice to be just the two of us at dinner tonight.
This garden, this house must be too taxing for you to oversee alone.
Many things have been difficult since my husband passed away, Mr. Sweeney.
Which I hope to change. Then a handsome woman such as yourself can enjoy a life of travel and other pleasures for which she's best suited as my wife.
It is too soon for me. I'm widowed hardly more than a year, and we barely know each other. 2 months merely constitutes an acquaintance.
We are more than acquaintances by now, my dear. What difference the amount of time?
I cannot consider so momentous a decision as marriage without thinking of my children first.
As I do. When I suggest a fine military academy for Robert and finishing school for Victoria.
I must think of the feelings of Victoria and Robert. But your offer is more than generous, and I will seriously consider it.
Thank you, dear lady. Robert and I can get better acquainted when I fetch him from a great dance tomorrow. Good night, Nora.
Good night.
Hello, Mr. Toad. And here I was expecting the white rabbit.
Toby, is that you? Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Meow.
Please, it must be here somewhere. Oh, God. Now what, a ghost?
You should not swear. I'm not a ghost. But are you a burglar's accomplice?
Of course not. I'm just a little lost, that's all. As soon as I can find the elevator, I'll go back to my floor.
Your floor? Whatever do you mean?
Look, all I know is I got on the elevator in the basement and I came out on this floor. All I want to do is go back.
Well, we do not have a basement. And we certainly do not have an elevator.
Who's we?
Well, we are the Walkers. I'm Victoria Albertine Walker. And you are in our house.
Well, where's my apartment building? Where's Susan Shawson's house?
I honestly don't know, Susan. Did you fall, perhaps, and hit your head?
Good night, Maggie.
Mom and Mag are still up. We need to hide you. Are you running from someone? Is that how you got all wet?
No, I tripped and fell in your frog pond. What's it doing over there? Where am I?
Shh. I already told you. You're in the Walker house.
I gotta be dreaming.
Oh, pinch yourself and you'll see that you are not. We need to get you out of those wet things, whatever sort of strange garments they may be.
What's with you people? You're the ones in the weird, strange, old-fashioned outfits.
Old-fashioned? We certainly are not old-fashioned. Mama just bought me this dress a month ago. Don't you know what people wear in this day and age?
I'm afraid to ask. What day and age is this?
Are you certain you didn't hit your head?
Just answer, please.
Well, it's 1881, of course. The 1st of July. And lucky for you, else you would have caught your death.
1881? Oh, my God.
Susan! Stop it.
Girls, I'm going to have to call someone, all right?
Please help me get back to the elevator. Please, you have to believe me. That's how I got here.
Susan.
I brought some tea, Susan. It'll warm you up.
What street is it that I saw the horse and carriage?
That's Ward Lane.
Ward Lane?
Mm-hmm.
We're not in the city?
Oh, no, of course not. The city is 2 miles from here. I brought tea biscuits.
Thanks. Sorry I freaked.
Freaked?
Right. Come on, Toto, let's go back to Emerald City and find the Great Oz and find our way back to Kansas.
Toto? The Great Oz?
You know, the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, Susan, that's what you think happened to you. A wizard cast a spell on you?
No, I mean the Wizard of Oz. The famous children's book. I guess it's not out yet.
Well, then how could you read it?
Well, it was published back in 1900.
I better go get a doctor.
No, listen. Where I'm from, 1900 is back then.
Oh, my poor dear. You must be completely mad.
Maybe, I don't know anymore. Wait. What about these clothes? Look at my shoes. Have you ever seen anything like this? Can you get this in 1881?
I cannot say. But I have heard of confidence schemes.
I don't want to argue. I just want to go back. Wait. A CD player. Look. Oh, come on. Oh, no, it must have broke when I fell in the frog pond. Oh. I have to go back. I have to go home. My dad must be going crazy by now.
Susan, I don't know what happened to you or where you want to go back to, but please come back into my room before someone hears you.
So, who's the president now?
James Garfield, of course.
Garfield? We just studied him. Wasn't he the one who got shot by some guy with a French name?
Bite your tongue, Susan Shawson. Why would you wish something like that?
Guess that hasn't happened yet either.
You must be exhausted. You can sleep in the bed, and I'll take the divan.
What if someone comes in?
Nobody would come into my room without knocking first.
Susan, honey, let's go. Your breakfast.
you seen my daughter?
No, sir.
Huh?
Gagan, take line 3, missing kid.
Gagan. All right, sir. Calm down. How old is your daughter? How long has she been missing? All right, sir. You're going to have to calm down if you want my help. Now, who am I speaking with? All right, Mr. Shawson, I understand what you're saying, but could she have gone somewhere maybe to meet a friend a little early?
President Garfield has been shot.
What do you mean?
The postman came with the mail today, and he told me that President Garfield was shot this morning in Pennsylvania Station by a man named Guiteau. Susan, how did you know?
I told you.
This can't be.
Now do you believe me?
Half of what you say is gibberish, and it makes no sense to me.
Your mom.
I don't understand why you say your hands are tied.
Mr. Shawson, I understand your anxiety. I do. But the fact is, your daughter could have gone somewhere on her own.
Why would she do that?
I'm not saying she has. Look, she's a minor, so even though she has not been missing, the 24 hours I'm here and I'm talking to you, and I'll talk to anybody that knows anything. But until we receive a phone call or some kind of ransom note, we can't assume she's been kidnapped.
Instead, you're assuming that she's run away.
No, I'm not. Look, why don't we just look at the facts, all right? The last time you saw her, she was in her bedroom. You didn't hear any sound of disturbance. I've looked around.
Look, my daughter's missing. I don't care about any of that. I just want her found.
I think it has something to do with Mr. Reynolds' keys, but...
So your blind friend, who was once a scientist, gave you a set of keys. And you said that you went into an elevator, but it would not work, so you pressed some buttons, right? And then you put the key in and turned it. And here you are.
Yeah, but why here?
Maybe something wanted you here.
No, that's too far out. Outlandish.
No more outlandish than going back into time for no reason. Promise to tell no one? But I have a serious problem. Our maid, Maggie, she's Irish and believes in spirits. So we asked the spirits for help. And here you are.
Help with what?
With Mr. Sweeney, the fortune hunter who's after Mama.
Is that the man I heard in the garden with her last night?
You heard them?
And you're sure there's nothing down in that locker? I would like to take a look myself.
Susan would never take anything of mine.
Of course she wouldn't. Susan doesn't steal things.
Mr. Shawson, I didn't say she would. I'm simply following a line of questioning, trying to establish circumstances. Now, this play she was upset over, would she have gone to see a friend about it?
Not without telling Frank, Mr. Shawson. Susan wouldn't want to upset him.
I can't believe Mother said that to Mr. Sweeney.
That's what I heard. But your mother didn't make any promises.
No? She thinks Robert and I need a new father. I miss my father. But I don't need that awful man.
Is he really that bad? When I saw him, he kind of looked dorky.
I don't know what dorky is, but it's too good for Sweeney. And with Robert at Great Aunt Bristly's, it's all been up to me.
I wish I could help.
Well, you have by telling me what Mother said to him.
I wonder what time it is at home. Oh my God, gracious. It's 10 a.m. When I get home, my dad's gonna ground me for life.
Grounded? Is that something like locking you in the cellar?
Something like that, yeah.
Hello, Frank. How are you today?
Not very well, Edward. Susan's missing.
Missing? Really? Since when?
Since last night. It's Detective Gagan.
So you know Susan, Mr.
Ormondroyd, yes, of course I know her.
When was the last time you saw her?
Well, just last night in this elevator.
Did you see her get off?
Well, no, actually. I got off on the ground floor to go to supper, and Susan was going down to the basement.
Yeah, we talked to Reynolds upstairs, and he went down to the basement. She was taking some books down to the storage locker for him.
Well, no, actually, it wasn't books. It was some newspapers and a sort of a brass plate.
He said they were books.
Well, being blind and all, he might have thought it was books.
That could very well be. How do you spell that?
B-O-O.
Your name.
O-R-M.
I'm gonna get off. Make some phone calls. See if I can find out something who knows what's going on. Talk to someone.
Susan, where precisely is the elevator supposed to be?
Vicky, what about your mom and Maggie?
Oh, they went to town a while ago to do some shopping.
And when were you gonna clue me in on this?
Does that mean tell you? Yeah. You said that the elevator came here?
Yeah, but it's gone. This is cool wallpaper.
Actually, I think it's rather warm myself. May I see the keys?
Yeah, sure.
And what is this?
I think it's a remote control for a car alarm. Well, it sends radio signals. Okay, you guys don't have radios or pagers and cellular phones.
Is that like a telephone?
You have a telephone?
Well, not here, of course. I'll have you know that very few people have talked on a telephone. But I am one. My father took me to the 1876 Centennial Exposition in Philadelphia when I was 9.
Well, do you know the radio signal that goes through the telephone wire? This is exactly the same thing except without the wire. It sends a signal to the car alarm to turn it off and on.
What's a car alarm?
Well, don't worry about that, but why would Mr. Reynolds have it?
To send a signal because he's blind.
Would a blind man drive a horse and carriage?
No, that doesn't sound very safe.
Exactly.
The lockers are at the north end.
Thanks. I can take it from here.
That's the super. Mr. Badoni!
Ah, Mr. Amandroid, how are you? I'm fixing my rat trap.
Fine, fine. This is Detective Gagan. He's investigating the disappearance of Susan Shawson.
Little Susie? Disappeared? When?
We don't know, apparently.
No, we don't know.
Apparently, she came down to the Reynolds locker last night.
Sure! Sure, yes, I saw her.
Really? What time would that have been?
Don't know. 8, 9?
No. That would be right after when I saw her.
I'd like to take a look at the Reynolds locker. Would you mind opening it up?
Really?
Really?
Sure.
See, a telephone has a crank. How does this send a signal?
Oh, you just push the button.
My heavens!
Yes. Oh, my Lord. Thank you.
It's true.
Yeah. Just press a button and I'm gonna be home. Do you want to come?
Oh, no. I wouldn't dare.
I was just kidding. Well, how am I ever gonna thank you?
Susan, you can't just leave.
I can't just stay.
I mean, you just got here. And you haven't even met Robert yet.
I'd love to stay in 1881, but I gotta go home and see my dad.
Well, you need these.
Duh. See ya. Maybe. Bye.
Goodbye, Susan.
How do I do this?
You know, I am the man in charge, eh?
Mr. Ormondroyd, don't you have someplace you need to be?
Oh, no. I'm a writer, and I keep whatever hours I want.
How nice for you. Mr. Bodini, this bulb looks new. Did you change it?
No, the tenants take care of it.
There's a missing bulb in here. Did you use it in here somewhere?
What does this have to do with Susan?
I'm not sure yet. I'm going back to see Reynolds.
Have you found something?
You just keep making phone calls. I'll come back and fill you in later.
Who's there, please?
It's me, Mr. Reynolds.
Susan, where were you?
That's what I want to know.
What do you mean?
I mean, what did you do to the elevator?
Did you go back?
Yes! Whoever it is, don't tell him I'm here.
Mr. Reynolds? It's Detective Gagan again.
Yes?
Am I disturbing something?
Oh, of course not. Did you have any luck?
No, not yet. Do you mind if I come in?
Of course not.
You stated that she took some books down to the basement for you.
Yes, that's what I said.
Uh-huh. Well, well, well. Miss Susan Shawson, I presume.
Do I know you?
No. No, I'm the detective your father called to find you.
Oh.
Care to tell me where you've been?
Ben? It's personal.
Oh, it's personal. Well, I don't think your father would like hearing that Mr. Reynolds here had to lie for you.
Mr. Reynolds didn't know where I was.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what do you say you and I go downstairs and have a little chat with your father?
What's going on, Susan? Maybe we should talk to Sandy Hoffman.
That shrink you dated? Dad, I'm not crazy.
Then you are grounded for the rest of your life unless you tell me where you've been. Fine. I'll go talk to Reynolds myself.
Whoa, Mr. Shawson, let's just let things simmer down first.
Why should I do that? I deserve an explanation.
Yes, sir, you do. I do not know where she has been, but at least she didn't wind up in a hospital or worse. Now, Reynolds was not lying about knowing where she was, just about what she took down to the basement.
Well, how can you be so sure?
Because he is a bad liar, and it takes a pretty good liar to get past me.
I hope so.
Sir, I am just trying to do my job to get to the truth.
Whatever.
Right, I'll show myself out.
Want a career in the military, don't you, Robert?
Yes, sir. I plan to make colonel by 1905.
Oh.
Yeah.
To find some dust up to make your name, huh?
Exactly, sir.
Well, the surest approach to a successful military career begins with fine academy, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. You will put in a good word with your mama for me, won't you?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes.
That's a good boy.
Robert Walker, how could you accept a ride from that man?
Listen, Vic. I don't know why you hate Mr. Sweeney the way you do. He seems all right when you get to know him.
Can't you see him for what he is? He's a cad and a scoundrel. He's no gentleman, I can assure you.
But he wants to marry Mother. And then
let me guess, he's going to send you off to military school.
How'd you know that?
Susan heard him proposing last night in the garden. And to sweeten it up, he promised to send us both away.
Who's Susan?
You don't know her. And she's left the country.
You're acting mighty strange, Vic.
Thank you, Maggie.
Children, we must have a serious discussion.
About Mr. Sweeney.
About several matters, including that gentleman, yes. Victoria, why do you despise him so?
Because he's a blackguard, Mama.
Victoria, I will not have such talk. You may not like him, but you will be civil. Now, Mr. Sweeney has proposed to me on many an occasion, and until now, I've thought it better to refuse him.
Until now, Mama, what are you saying?
Such an offer and proposal do not come along every day. I cannot risk refusing.
What offer? To send us both away?
To provide for a proper education for both of you, yes.
You're not in love with him, are you, Mother?
There are many reasons for my decision.
Mama, please, don't do this for us. We do well as we are.
Children, there's something that you're not aware of. Your father's investments have gone bad. We are nearly bankrupt.
Bankrupt?
How can this be?
Suffice to say that it is. Our financial advisor, Mr. Branscombe, gave me all the details today. Without Mr. Sweeney's proposal, I'm afraid we will have to sell the house.
Sell the house? No, Mama. I'll find employment.
Robert, be sensible. We don't want to be forced to impose on Great Aunt Brisley.
Mama, there has to be some other way.
Oh, my darlings, I would never do anything to make you unhappy. Your papa invested everything in business ventures to provide the best for us. Sometimes that is a gamble. And I'm afraid we lost. I'm sorry.
How does it work?
I'm not sure anymore, Susan. It's been 12 years and so much has happened since then. I never really believed it would work, but Eleonora believed, and then when she never came back...
Well, but where's your wife?
Somewhere in time. I don't know.
And you never looked?
Well, I might have one day, but then I panicked and I set fire to the lab to cover her disappearance, and afterwards...
I guess being blind, time travel's difficult.
No. I was always too scared, you see. That's why I never argued with her about going first. Besides, you're just like her.
I must be next, but here it goes.
No. They go over your ears.
But what?
Ah! They're like the telephone earpieces I told you about. My friend Susan left it behind.
Last time I saw Mr. Doney, I pressed 1, then 8, then nothing. How does that work? 1, 8? Or is it 1, 1, 8, 1, 8, 8, 1? That's it, 1881. So that means the Indians were 1, 3, 5, 7. Oh, wow, 1357. So let's go. 1, 8, 8, 1.
Susan! Susan! Vicky! Thank goodness you came back. Oh, yes, may I please present my younger brother, Master Robert Lincoln Walker. Robert, this is Miss Susan Shawcett. Never mind, Nats.
Hey.
Say hello.
Pleased to meet you.
Hi, Robert. So now you guys are broke? That stinks.
I beg your pardon?
The hard cheese. No, that's British.
Have you been to Britain?
No, I haven't even been to Disney World. My dad keeps telling me he's trying to find time.
What's Disney World?
Oh, it's kind of like the Centennial Exposition where you saw all the telephones, except a lot bigger.
Well, I assure you, the Centennial Exposition is quite large.
Well, we were all gonna go, my mom, my dad, and me, but then she died.
Your mother's dead?
Yeah.
Tell me about your mama.
Oh, she was so beautiful. Just like your mom. And she was an actress, just like I want to be.
Really?
Being an actor or actress is considered somewhat disreputable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in 1998, some of the most famous people in the world are actors and actresses.
Really?
More famous than writers.
Or soldiers?
Sure, because of movies and TV. Well, TV's kind of like a box with a window with moving pictures. My mom was a TV actress on a soap opera.
If we're starting a campaign tomorrow, we better get some shut-eye.
Honestly, Robert, do you have to use that slang?
Actually, I could use some sack time myself.
Oh.
Daddy, if I'm not back yet, don't worry. There is something I have to do. Love, Susan.
These are beautiful, Vicky. I've never seen anything like this. How long have you been doing this?
Since I was 6. What time is it?
Oh. 8:35 in my world, but here the crack of dawn.
What did you tell your father?
Nothing. I had to keep the secret from Mr. Reynolds.
No, I mean about coming back.
I snuck out.
Won't he be awfully angry?
I'm already grounded for life. I mean, what more can he do?
Robert Walker, we might have been indisposed.
Really, Vic, I wish you hadn't tossed out my good collar. This one is deucedly tight.
Oh, Robert, we have much greater worries than your silly collar.
Okay, come in. Victoria, Would you be leaving your room now so I can be doing a bit of dusting in there?
Nobody's coming. So, what's your strategy?
I don't know yet.
Sue, this is unbelievable.
You can keep it, Robert.
Seriously?
Robert.
No,
Let go.
Vic, that was a high-scored game.
Robert, this is serious. We have to come up with a plan.
Too bad we can't lure old Sweeney into Susan's elevator.
No. And even if we could, that would not be right.
Could we scare him off?
Maybe with a letter threatening to reveal all.
No, he's too smart for that.
Wait a minute. He wants your mama's money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if he thought you guys didn't have any?
He'd show a clean pair of heels then. Wait, but why would he think that?
Because we don't, Vic.
Right, now all we have to do is let him know.
But what if he really loves Mama and sticks by her?
Well, if he does, he just proves himself to you.
Yes, if he does that, then I will have to learn to accept him. But I know he won't.
So who will tell him?
Well, it can't be you or me. So...
Good morning, Frank.
Edward.
How was Susan today?
Missing. Again.
Really?
I don't know what's gotten into her, but when I find her, I swear.
Where are you going to look?
Well, I thought I'd start in the basement, see what she found so fascinating about Reynolds' locker.
Good idea. Mind if I come along?
Well, actually, no, go ahead.
Hello. My morning dress is all black. The perfect color for a serving girl.
This reminds me of a school play.
Have you been in many?
11 so far.
You must be an extraordinary actress.
Please, I'm nervous enough. Do people wear handbags?
Oh. How about this old shawl?
Oh, this is the perfect prop.
Robert, I want you to go see if Mother and Maggie have gone to the grocer's. And if they have, then I want you to give this letter to Sweeney.
Done.
Yes.
What if Sweeney realizes that the letter's not from your mom?
He won't. I can imitate her writing perfectly.
Perfect.
I guess I better get Bodoni.
I think we should.
Whoa.
He wasted no time. Look at him swagger.
Is Mrs. Walker at home?
I'm sorry, sir. She's just left.
Really? I have a note from her son to come see her most urgently.
I don't know anything about that. Mrs. Walker is gone, and I don't see how it's any concern of yours.
Quite snippy, ain't you?
What is she doing? You'll leave.
I don't mean to be disrespectful. I've just been discharged, and it's quite upsetting.
Discharged? For what cause?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Who are you, anyway? I've dined here many times and never seen you.
My name's Winona. I'm the upstairs.
I've heard of no Winona.
Well, Miss Winona Ryder at Liberty does not know you either, Mr.
Sweeney. Thunderation, girl, I'm Mrs. Walker's fiancé.
Fiancé, that presumptuous.
I've had quite a bit of your cheek, girl. Now, what are you talking about?
If you'd excuse me, Mr. Sweeney, but I cannot say.
Just a minute, Missy.
Unhand me, sir. I am not your Missy.
Miss Ryder, is it? Please forgive me. The thought of any possible distress in Mrs. Walker's life nearly unhinges me.
I'm sorry Mrs. Walker is in such desperate straits, but why should I be paid only half wages?
Half wages? My dear girl, what do you mean?
You seem like a fine, upstanding gentleman, and if no one's told you...
My dear. Dear Miss Ryder. We know now.
Tell him, tell him. He's got him, Vic.
I implore you.
Their money's all gone there, I've said it.
Really? Gone? How so?
Bad investments, speculation, that's all they'd say. Sir, are you all right? See, I desperately need a ride into town, and I was wondering... Not all right?
No.
You're not going to town?
No. Oh.
If Mrs. McLernan could see me now, she'd have no doubt he's the best actress in the school.
My, that was simply inspired.
That was bully. Absolutely bully. But we don't know if he's gone yet or not.
Of course he has. He's packing his valise right now.
Okay. I'll be going now.
I'll walk out.
Sure, sure. Wow. As much as I would like to stay, I have an appointment. You'll be here when I return?
You know, Edward, I don't think so. I think I'm gonna go to Susan's school and talk to someone.
Really?
So Mom will know him for the confidence man he really is. Oh, no! To my room. Mom is arriving with someone else. Let's go. Come on.
The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven. Upon a place beneath, it is twice blessed. It blesses him that gives and him that takes. It is mightiest of the mightiest. It becomes a throned monarch, better than his crown. The spectre shows the force of temporal
All
power.
right, let's take 5 and then we'll try it again from the top of the scene, okay? Mr. Shawson, any word from Susan?
Not yet. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on inside her head. It's pretty clear I'm a poor excuse for a parent.
No, real poor parents don't care about being poor parents. And single parents usually have trouble finding enough time. I know I do.
Did she ever mention her mother?
A couple of times. I imagine Susan idolized her mom, and that's why she's so dedicated to acting.
Just trying to figure out what's going on inside her head. And I was hoping that maybe she'd confide in a student.
Who is that?
That's Mr. Branscombe, Mother's accountant. She wanted him to fully explain our financial situation to me and Robert.
Under the bed.
Victoria, are you all right? You look a bit peaked.
I'm fine, Mama.
I'm sorry, children. I'm sorry I didn't tell your father to bury the money in the yard. Now you know everything. Dinner will be ready in 5 minutes. Don't dawdle.
When your mother said buried money, it flashed on me. The newspaper article I read to Mr. Reynolds before I left. I gotta go back and find it.
What are you talking about?
Some old Civil War coins buried near my apartment building. So Ward Lane becomes Ward Street. So they must be near here, too.
The streets must be different than they are now.
Very different. But it depends on this house and my apartment building being in the same place. But don't worry, I'll be back before you guys even finish dinner. So let's go. Come on.
Roberts, come on.
D4, that's it, yes. All right, this is it. Toby, come back. Don't do this. We have to go. Toby.
Mission accomplished.
What happened? We're gone for hours.
What are you talking about? I was only gone for 5 minutes. Except I had to...
Sue, I was going to bring this up before. It seems to me that if a treasure was dug up in 1998, how can we find it now?
What are you talking about?
If down in the elevator's the future and up is now, it must have already happened before now in the future past.
But we'll get there a full century before anyone else.
But Sue, if we find them, they can't. So how can they be in this newspaper if it still won't be there in 1998?
Look, all I'm doing is trying to help.
I know. If we leave a part of it to the future, then we can dig up the rest.
Well, if you say so.
Well, I, for one, am going to find it, no matter how long it takes. Now, who's with me?
Righto, let's go.
Wait for daylight, would you?
Mother, hide. Robert, go to your room. Mama, have you heard from Mr. Sweeney?
Why do you ask that?
Nothing. I just...
You won't be seeing him anymore, Vicky.
Oh, Mother.
Come on now, Victoria. Don't pretend that you're sorry. I'm glad that he's gone. Marrying him would have been a colossal mistake. I don't know exactly how, but we'll manage. Perhaps Aunt Prisley may help.
Robert may be too young, really, to find employment. But I could.
Don't be silly, Victoria. Perhaps I could find employment.
Mother.
Well, why not? It's not impossible for a lady to work nowadays. I can't play piano well enough to give lessons, but I could sell ladies' hats.
Ladies' hats?
Yes. If we sold the house, I could buy a little shop, and we could live upstairs, and you could help with the customers. What do you think?
I think that I would do anything for you, Mama. Anything at all.
Victoria, I love you and Robert so much. So, as distasteful as it might be, perhaps I'll go and talk to great Aunt Prisley before I turn your lives upside down again.
You just brought sandwiches?
Robert Lincoln Walker. It's barely 2 hours since we breakfasted. What if the treasure's on someone else's property? Then it would belong to them.
Well, let's look forward first and worry about that later. Which way is north?
That way.
Are your mom and Maggie home all day?
They're going to go to town. They'll be back late this afternoon to prepare for Aunt Grizzly.
Are you sure we're allowed to cross their fields?
Yeah, we're friends. Robert and I feed them apples in the fall.
Where are we, Sue? I don't know, but it seems like about the same distance from my house to Oak Park.
Shoo, shoo! Go!
Come on, cows, come on. Hurry.
That tree looks exactly like the one in Oak Park.
Oh.
Ah! Here it is! Give me a spade, quick!
Here. Come on.
What is it?
What did you find?
Oh, darn. Dumper Sue.
It's okay, Robert.
Here, you two work the sword for a while.
Right here.
Right here?
Yeah.
Must be past lunchtime. I'm hungry. Let's eat.
Honestly.
Isn't he impossible?
Well, who's doing most of the work?
I found something.
The gold? Wow. Do you believe the soldier who lost this was killed in battle?
There was a war here?
No, but Papa said there was a bivouac.
Was your father in the Civil War?
Of course.
Was your dad in the army, Susan?
No, he was born 10 years after World War II. World War?
There were 2 world wars? Oh, but no more after that, I hope.
Well, little ones, sure, but my dad was too young to fight in Vietnam.
Vietnam? Was that an Indian war?
No, but just about as useless.
Useless? Fighting to open the West for Americans is not useless. Custer's name will live on in glory forever.
Not?
I hate all this talk about war. Why does it have to be so much fighting and killing? Give me the gun.
No! Give!
There. That's what should happen to all guns.
We have to fight sometimes, Vic, to make the world a safer place.
That doesn't make the world a safer place, Robert. Where I come from, in my time, if we were in Oak Park right now, we'd be worrying about how dark it is outside or trying to find a well-lit street to walk down.
But Susan, if people in your time can't sit in a park or walk the streets without being frightened, how can they keep from going mad?
Yeah, how?
It's a good question. But how are we going to find these coins?
Well, when we're done eating, we'll keep digging.
Move, move, move! Move! Shoo! Shoo! Go away!
I'm sorry. I'm as stupid as the cows. Stupider. You know, they wouldn't try and look for a needle in a haystack. They'd eat the hay.
Susan Dawson, I can't believe what I'm hearing. How many people do you imagine have traveled in time?
Or pulled the wool completely over old Sweeney's eyes.
Wait a minute, you're right. We have a time machine.
Yes.
What are we doing stepping in cow piles and digging in the dirt?
It's not fair.
Robert, it is fair. I call tails.
Robert, you can go next time.
Make sure you're back for supper. Aunt Grizzly's coming at 6 o'clock.
Okay. This thing doesn't stop on a dime. So, if we're late, stall.
It won't hurt, Vicky.
Hey, miss! Halloween in October.
That's a car. Come on, let's go. Come on, Vicky, we have important work to do.
When are we gonna be at Newton's pasture?
Right around the corner at the construction site.
Is that a TV?
No, even better. I'm only allowed to use it on emergencies, but I guess this is one.
A machine that makes money. It must be counterfeit.
It's not. Too bad the money in 1881 is so different. Guess we have to spend it here. Pass here. All right, we have what we need. Let's get out of here. Whoa. Come on, let's go. Vicky, stop.
But we already have a camera.
Not this one.
As I live and breathe.
Well, a little souvenir of you in the 20th century. Which reminds me, wait till you see these pictures. Come on. Believe it or not, this was Newton's pasture. It's a helicopter.
What?
A flying car. We have rockets to the moon.
No, now you're joking.
I'm serious, we've been. But we don't go anymore because all it is moon rocks.
Oh no, everything is dug up.
We'll never find the gold this way. Darn, Vicky, why can't anything be easy?
I just wish Father hadn't made all those bad investments.
Wait a minute, let me think. Hey, I know. Let's go online.
Where's online?
Good question. Come on.
Dressed for dinner already, and not yet 5 o'clock.
Mother says we must be on our best behavior for Great Aunt Brisley. Maggie, especially me.
Hi, that we must. Where's your sister then?
Getting dressed, I think.
Okay, American companies in 1880. Vicky, a little help here, please?
Susan, what are these for?
They're shades, you know? Spectacles to protect your eyes from the sun. We have to get back to work. Come on, we gotta get your family's money back. So what stock did your dad own that went bad?
I heard Papa talk about mining stocks. And the Comstock load. Mr. Branscombe said that that was the problem.
Looks like that's right. Discovered in 1859, the Comstock lode declined after 20 years and totally depleted in 1882. Let's try something else. Oh, wow, look at this. This could be it, Anaconda. In 1876, Marcus Daly struck silver near Butte, Montana.
So Anaconda was like Comstock, another silver mine.
No, look here. It says, when the silver ran out, they found copper.
But the copper's invaluable. It just makes pennies.
And telephone wires. Look at this. In 1879, Stock and Daly's Anaconda Company sold for 4 cents. And in July of 1881, it sold for $6.
But Susan, how does that help us? They did not own any.
Yeah, but it seems to me, if we can go back to 1879 and change your dad's bad investments, we can change a little piece of history.
How?
Remember you talking about imitating your mom's handwriting?
Really? My mother told me to bring this for you, sir. She wants to sell her shares of Comstock and buy Anaconda instead.
Five past the hour. Your daughter seems to have no regard for punctuality.
I'll go up.
No need. Boy, fetch your sister.
Yes, ma'am.
Really?
Vic? Sue?
You're late.
Oh my goodness, Great Aunt Brisley! I have to get ready. Whoa!
Really, Robert, I don't understand what you're trying to explain. For the last time? What do you mean? Where is Great Aunt Brisley?
Good afternoon, Mama. I'm sorry I'm late.
Good afternoon?
Yes. Where's Great Aunt Brisley?
Ready, Mom?
Maggie, where is Great Aunt Brisley?
At her home in Pittsburgh, I expect. Where else should she be? And who are we all dressed up to see?
But Mother...
Children, what exactly is the point of this joke? I'm sorry, I don't understand how it works. And right now, Maggie and I have some shopping to do. We'll be right back. Victoria, please keep an eye on your brother.
So you told him to sell $2,000 worth of Comstock and buy shares of this Anaconda company? At 4 cents, that would be 50,000 shares.
Which are now worth $6 a share.
But that's $300,000.
You should have seen the look on Branscome's face when he saw how much I've grown.
And he believed the letter was from Mother?
Oh, yes.
So for Rich, why hasn't anything changed?
I don't know, maybe it takes a while.
Well, maybe after you saw Mr. Branscombe in 1879, he went to see Mother to remark on how much Vic had grown, and he found out she didn't write the letter. I don't think this stock idea worked at all. You two were supposed to find where the gold was. We know that's real.
We got pictures. Yeah.
Sue, what's that big yellow thing? An automobile?
Well, it's called a backhoe. It's kind of like a big bulldozer.
A what?
Roberts, we need to concentrate.
You can't tell where the gold is from these.
I know.
Now instead of poking around in 1879, you two should have gone to 1864 during the Civil War before the coins were stashed and scattered around. This is 1998?
Robert, don't. It's just a basement. We gotta go. This is the takeoff point. Come on.
Sue, there's a cat in 1998 that looks just like Toby.
Let's go.
Goody, now Toby will have a friend.
Come on, come on.
How are we gonna get photographs with them around?
Just do it. That's the 90s slogan. They'll be blown away.
But they'll think we're spies for the Confederacy.
Oh, just go. Go on. Don't be nervous.
Hey, where you brats going?
To Knutson's house out past the oak tree.
Well, then go around.
But we always get through here.
Well, not today, you ain't.
Let him through, Meadows.
They could be spies.
They're just kids.
Yeah, well, I hear tell there's 12-year-olds fighting in Georgia now, huh?
That's Georgia. You a spy, Shaver?
No, sir.
What else you got in that bag?
Just some personal things.
Cat's lazy?
Tired.
Spies bring their cats along, you think?
Pack it up, men!
Go on, kids.
There it is, the old oak tree. They're leaving. Robert, those rocks you're sitting on.
What about them?
They're not there in 1881.
Wow.
Ew.
How could Mother ever afford a coachman?
Thank you, my good man. Maggie, could you please take the rest of the presents into the parlor?
Presents?
Where did she go?
Mother and Maggie may be home by now.
I better sneak out then. Go find her. Meet up with me later. By the oak tree.
Pardon me.
Susan, you did it! We're rich!
Great Caesar, you found the gold! Underneath the rock by the old oak tree in Oak Park.
You found the gold!
Well, duh, how else would you be rich?
50,000 shells of anaconda.
What are you talking about?
When we came back from Mr. Branscomb's, everything had changed.
And Father's investments hadn't gone bad. And Mama didn't need help from Great Aunt Grizzly anymore.
And Brisley was gone because she was...
Because
she suddenly was never there. Past, present, and future, you did it, Susan.
Oh, I can't believe this. We changed history. So I guess we don't need these coins anymore. I guess we could bury them for a rainy day. Wait, your mom's rich now. What about Mr. Sweeney?
Sweeney? I don't think he ever existed.
Susan, when you first saw me in the hallway, did you really believe in ghosts?
I don't think so. But last week I wouldn't have believed in time machines.
Maggie? She said that she once saw her brother 7 months after he died at sea. He had seaweed in his hair, and his face was all blue, and... Susan, I've been thinking about Papa.
I know what you mean. I've been thinking about my mom, too.
Well?
Oh, Vicky, we can't change that past. I mean, can't go back.
Well, what then? The future?
No, that's way too scary.
Not for me. I've seen it. I think it's exciting.
I'd like to live here.
That'd be wonderful. But why?
I don't know. I could convince my dad to come down here. I mean, he needs a vacation anyways with all his tax planning and business clients.
Really? Susan, how fine that would be. How romantic.
Do you think there's a chance?
I mean, you can do anything.
Look.
My goodness, she looks so much like Mother.
Thank you. I'll look after this, Mrs. Clutchett.
No, don't you be too hard on her.
Thank you.
Bye, Susie, honey.
Bye.
Show me the proof. Susan, these are very expensive. Tell me where you got them.
I told you.
Look, you're my little girl, right? My big girl.
This has nothing to do with little or big. I'm not making this... Look at these, look.
I've looked. I don't know where you got these things, but it wasn't from going back in time. Now tell me where you've been. You know, I've been running away from reality too, since your mom died. I mean, it isn't easy being a parent alone, and I'm sorry. Well, sweetheart, you must tell me where you've been.
I told you.
I think we need to talk to Sandy Hoffman.
I'm not crazy. Let me prove it to you.
If I agree to this, will you talk to Sandy?
Yes, but you have to come back in the elevator with me. Deal?
Deal.
Besides, I'm giving up my acting career for this.
Okay. Your what?
My acting career. Being on stage wasn't really respectable in 1881, but you know that. Why don't you come back with us?
Well, if I thought there was a chance of finding Eleonora there, I might consider it. No, Susan. Thank you very much, but all I have left of her is here and now. Do you know, I can still smell the perfume on her dressing table and feel her sweater in the closet.
But the past is a wonderful place.
I'm sure it is, for the young and adventuresome, but not for me. Good luck, darling. Oh, I wish I could see your father's face when those doors open.
One, 8, 8, 1. Well, that's very imaginative, Susan. What's this performance all about?
It's really kind of selfish, actually. I'm kind of like Portia in Merchant of Venice. Play acting to get what I want. I want a big house in the country where it's quiet and pretty and birds are singing and there's stars at night and there's room for everybody. There's sweet smelling air. Maybe even a mom again. Someone like Mrs. Walker.
So this has all been a scheme to get me married again. I didn't think you wanted that.
It's only a matter of time.
Did you ever hear such crazy talk? As soon as I saw that child yesterday, I said to myself, if I've ever seen hysteria, this is it.
But before you said she seemed normal.
Oh, that smile of hers didn't faze me for a minute. Look, I've seen shock before. How it takes people sometimes. Why, my husband, Mr. Clutchett, God bless him. Look, he was hit on the head by a box of old magazines one time, and he went around for hours with such a smile.
Look, ma'am, this sounds real fascinating, and I would love to hear about those magazines. But...
Detective Gagan.
Mr. Ormondroyd, good morning.
Don't tell me Susan's gone again.
Yeah, it would appear so.
And her father with her too?
No. Any idea? Reynolds isn't saying much. I can't even begin to guess what he's hiding. Yeah. Take a look. Hey, don't touch.
What is all this?
I don't know. I'll just have to let forensics tell me.
Pointy. Detective Gagan, good morning.
Mr. Armandroy. You write mysteries, do you?
Yes, on occasion.
So the girl could have had a traumatic experience. She believed these hysterical fantasies. Or she traveled back in time. I reported it as a possible kidnapping, so the FBI lab worked on the newspaper. Now, the pulp process is from turn of the century, but could still be used somewhere. The ink has a blacking agent in it, which hasn't been used since 1906.
A detective, don't people sell authentic old newspapers?
Sure they do. But paper acidifies. You can date it. This paper was manufactured less than a month ago. Well, I've got to get back to the world of bad guys and homicides. You think they'll ever come back?
I don't know, Detective.
I know I would. See you around, Ormy.
You're gonna love this marvelous old horror. Why, the architectural buffs around here are going practically crazy over this house.
Any idea where it stood?
On the other side of town where you are, on Ward Street. Of course it was Ward Lane back then.
Is there a date on this picture?
1882 or 3 or thereabouts.
Do you happen to have a magnifying glass nearby?
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, priceless, is it?
Priceless? The word that comes to my mind is timeless. My.
With a little luck, a little bit of faith, just when you think you've seen it all before, someone opens another door, and so you step through into a different time. Somehow, some way, that world was mine. With a little luck, a little bit of faith, you can change the life you've made. Open up your heart and mind to the magic you will find. With a little luck, a little bit of faith. With a little luck. Just when you feel that hope has all run dry, something tells you give it a try, and so you stand tall and try with